Another year of my life gone in the blink of an eye. Another year filled with amazing places. Another year of trying to find myself. Another video for future me to look back on. I've been thinking about the concepts of bravery and courage a lot lately. I get asked about my travels a lot because, of course, I've basically made it my entire personality. And the most frequent question is always, don't you get scared when you travel to some of these places? I find it so odd because I haven't been scared of traveling in a long time. And if anything, it makes me excited instead of scared. And sometimes I get comments such as, "You're really brave. I could never do something like that." Which is a bit funny because I honestly wouldn't consider myself a brave person at all. But like I said, I've been considering the concepts of bravery and courage a lot this year. And I began to see myself and others like myself in an entirely different light because of it. I met a lot of younger adults my last trip in Indonesia. It made me think about what kinds of things I would have been doing at their age. Probably somewhere stuck in my hometown, surrounded by the same comforts of home and familiarity. And it struck me in those moments of the intense amount of bravery and courage needed to go all the way across the world. It takes an insane amount of courage to travel to a distant land, farther than you've ever been from home. It takes an even more amount of courage to travel not knowing how to speak English very well, because, as we all know, English is the international language. It takes an insane amount of courage to travel as a woman. It takes an insane amount of courage to travel as a young adult, barely having experienced life. And it takes an insane amount of courage to travel solo. And I can only imagine how much courage would be required to do multiple or all of those things at once. I don't consider myself a brave person, but I remember being scared of flying, and now I've been on more planes than I can count. I don't consider myself a brave person, but I've introduced myself to countless strangers in the hope that they'll turn into friends. I don't consider myself a brave person, but I've always allowed myself to try new things, even if I'm no good at them. I don't consider myself a brave person, but I've had my heart broken and still let myself fall again without fear. I don't consider myself a brave person, but here I am, speaking these words into existence, making this video for all who care to see, or not see. And really, that takes courage, too. I think if I'm being honest, I am a bit scared of traveling. I'm scared something will go wrong. I'm scared I'll get my things stolen. I'm scared I won't make any friends. I'm scared I'll make a fool of myself. And then I travel anyway, because the only way to get rid of fear is to be brave. And I'm realizing more and more the endless ways that people are courageous in the simplest of forms, and I find it beautiful. It takes courage to fall in love. It takes courage to start a business. It takes courage to go to college. It takes courage to move to a different city or country. It takes courage to have kids. It takes courage to say hello to a stranger. It takes courage to send that message to that girl or guy you think is cute. It takes courage to learn a new language and make a fool of yourself. It takes courage to be alive and experience the moment for the sake of the moment. This year, I've realized that sometimes the things that we do that seem quite normal to us can sometimes be the most courageous act to someone else. Perspective is everything. I've learned that one of the things I find most attractive in someone is consistency and communication. That I deserve just as much effort as I put into someone. Really, that brings to mind a thought that I've had so often throughout this year, specifically when it comes to texting and late replies. I release you of the burden of replying to me. It is what it is. And finally, I learned that sometimes moving on is the best option, even if it doesn't seem like it at the time. Life is always giving me lessons. 2023. You were nothing like I expected you to be, but thank you for every small moment. Thank you for goodbyes and hellos. And thank you for new perspectives.